Hey everyone! In today's video, we're diving into 10 powerful chapters that will help you build and improve your English listening and speaking skills step by step. From learning how to think in English to creating a sustainable daily routine, you'll discover practical tips and techniques to boost your fluency and confidence. So, grab a notebook, listen carefully, and let's make learning English fun and effective. Chapter 1: The Power of Thinking in English. Hi everyone! Welcome to Chapter 1. Today, we're going to explore why thinking in English is such a game changer for your fluency and confidence. You might have heard people say, to truly master a language, you need to think in it. But what does that really mean? And why is it so important? Don't worry. We're breaking it all down for you with practical insights, relatable examples, and actionable tips to get started right away. Why? Thinking in English matters. Let's start with the big question. Why should you think in English? When you think in your native language and then translate into English, you create a delay. Your brain has to work double time. First to think of an idea, then to find the right words in English. This process slows you down, makes speaking feel unnatural, and often leads to awkward pauses. On the other hand, when you think directly in English, you process thoughts faster. You speak more naturally without translation. Your sentences flow better because you're using English grammar and structure automatically. You sound more confident because you're not second-guessing yourself. Thinking in English helps you bridge the gap between what you know and how you communicate it, which is key to speaking fluently and confidently. The science behind thinking in English. Did you know your brain rewires itself as you practice thinking in a new language? This is called neuroplasticity. Your brain's ability to adapt and form new connections. Here's how it works. The more you expose yourself to English and try to think in it, the stronger the connections in your brain related to the language become. Over time, thinking in English becomes automatic, just like speaking your native language. But like any skill, it takes practice and consistency. The common challenges learners face. Thinking in English can feel strange or difficult at first. You might struggle with not knowing enough vocabulary to express yourself, feeling stuck when you can't find the right word. Falling back into the habit of translating. Don't worry, these challenges are completely normal and we're going to tackle them with some simple yet effective strategies. How to start thinking in English. Let's get practical. Here are 5 simple steps to help you start thinking in English today. Step 1. Name objects around you in English. A great way to train your brain is to start small. Look around your room and name the objects in English. For example, that's a D. Table. This is my phone. I see a book. By naming everyday items, you're helping your brain get used to recognizing things in English without translating. Tip: stick Post-it notes with English labels on common objects in your house to reinforce this habit. Step 2. Describe your actions in English. Once you're comfortable naming objects, take it a step further and describe what you're doing. For example, I'm brushing my teeth. I'm making coffee. I'm going to the store. Start with short, simple sentences. Over time, you can make them more detailed. I'm brushing my teeth with mint-flavored toothpaste. I'm making coffee with 2 teaspoons of sugar. Tip: say these sentences in your head or out loud to reinforce your thought process. Step 3. Use English for internal thoughts. Challenge yourself to think in English when you're daydreaming or reflecting. For example, when planning your day, think, I need to finish my homework and then go grocery shopping. When reflecting on an experience, think, I really enjoyed that movie. The acting was amazing. By replacing your native language with English in your internal dialogue, you're training your brain to use English naturally. Step 4. Practice thinking with prompts. Sometimes it helps to use prompts to guide your thoughts. For example, what do I see? Describe your surroundings in English. What am I feeling? Use English to express your emotions. For instance, I'm feeling happy because the weather is so nice. Tip: set aside 5 minutes a day to focus on these prompts. You'll be surprised at how quickly your brain adapts. Step 5. Expand your vocabulary. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to think in English is a limited vocabulary. Make it a habit to learn a few new words every day and practice using them in sentences. For example, learn the word breathtaking and think, the sunset is breathtaking. Learn the phrase run errands and think, I need to run errands after lunch. Tip: use a vocabulary app or flashcards to learn words you can apply to your daily life. Motivational example. Let me share a quick story. There's a student named Sarah who was struggling with her fluency because she kept translating from her native language. She decided to follow these steps, starting with naming objects and gradually describing her actions. Within a month, she noticed a big improvement. She could hold simple conversations without pausing to translate. This goes to show, if Sarah can do it, so can you. A famous quote to inspire you. The limits of my language mean the limits of my world. Ludwig Wittgenstein. When you think in English, you're not just learning a language, you're expanding your world. You can express yourself more freely, understand others better, and connect with people globally. Your first challenge. Let's put what you've learned into action. Here's your challenge for today. Look around your room and name 10 objects in English. Describe 5 actions you're doing right now. Spend 5 minutes thinking in English about your plans for tomorrow. Conclusion. Congratulations! You've just completed Chapter 1, The Power of Thinking in English. By starting small and practicing daily, you'll soon find yourself thinking and speaking in English naturally. Remember, the journey to fluency starts in your mind. So start thinking in English today. Stay tuned for Chapter 2, where we'll explore how to train your brain to stop translating and start thinking directly in English. Chapter 2, Overcoming Translation Dependency. Hi everyone, welcome to Chapter 2. Today, we're going to tackle one of the most common challenges language learners face: translation dependency. If you often find yourself thinking in your native language and translating it into English before speaking, you're not alone. While this habit is natural when starting out, it can hold you back from becoming truly fluent. The good news is that you can train your brain to think directly in English. In this chapter, we'll break down why translation dependency happens, how it affects your fluency, and specific strategies to overcome it. What is translation dependency? Translation dependency is the habit of relying on your native language as a mental bridge when trying to think or speak in English. For example, you might think of a sentence in your native language first, then translate it word for word into English before speaking. This leads to slow communication. Your brain has to process 2 languages, which takes extra time. Awkward phrasing. Languages have different grammar and sentence structures, so direct translation often sounds unnatural. Increased hesitation. You pause frequently to search for the right words, which disrupts the flow of your speech. Why does translation dependency happen? When learning a new language, your brain initially connects new English words to their equivalents in your native language. For example, when you learn the word apple, your brain might first associate it with the word in your native language. While this is an effective way to begin, it creates a habit of always relying on translation instead of thinking in English directly. Signs: you're stuck in translation dependency. Here are some clues that translation dependency is affecting your fluency. Frequent pauses. You stop mid-sentence to find the right words in English. Word-for-word translations. Your sentences don't sound natural because they follow the structure of your native language. Reliance on bilingual dictionaries. You constantly need to translate back and forth to understand or express yourself. If any of these sound familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. Let's explore how to break free. How to overcome translation dependency. Here are 6 practical steps to help you stop translating and start thinking directly in English. Step 1. Start simple. When transitioning away from translation, don't overwhelm yourself with complex vocabulary or long sentences. Begin with simple words and phrases you already know. For example, instead of thinking, "I need to do my homework today" in your native language first, immediately think, "I need to do my homework today" in English. For actions like walking, eating, or cleaning, think in short English phrases, "I'm walking," "I'm eating," or "I'm cleaning." The goal is to build confidence with simple ideas before progressing to more complex ones. Exercise. Write down 5 simple sentences about your daily routine in English and practice thinking them throughout the day. Step 2. Use English to English. Dictionaries. Using bilingual dictionaries reinforces translation dependency. Instead, switch to English dictionaries, which define words in English. This forces you to process and understand the language directly. For example, instead of learning, apple, word in native language, look up. Apple, a round fruit with red, green, or yellow skin. This not only helps you think in English, but also improves your vocabulary and comprehension skills. Tip. Use learner-friendly dictionaries like Cambridge Learner's Dictionary or Merriam-Webster. Step 3. Think in chunks, not words. Word-for-word translation often leads to unnatural sentences. Instead, focus on learning and using chunks of language, common phrases or expressions. For example, instead of thinking, "Can you help me?" as individual words, think of the entire phrase as one chunk. Practice phrases like, "I'd like to order," "How much does this cost?" or "Where can I find it?" By learning these chunks, you'll speak more naturally and stop needing to translate. Exercise. Write down 10 common English phrases and practice using them in daily conversations or thoughts. Step 4. Visualize. Don't translate. When you see something, try to associate it directly with the English word instead of thinking about the translation. For example, when you see a chair, think chair, not the word in your native language. When you see a dog, think dog. This helps your brain build a direct connection between objects and English words. Exercise. Walk around your home or neighborhood and name everything you see in English. Step 5. Immerse yourself in English. Immersion is one of the most effective ways to reduce translation dependency. Surround yourself with English as much as possible by listening to English podcasts, audiobooks, or music, watching English TV shows or YouTube videos, reading English books, articles, or social media posts. As you consume English content, challenge yourself to think in English about what you're hearing or reading. Tip: start with content that matches your current level to avoid feeling overwhelmed. Step 6. Practice situational thinking. Another powerful way to stop translating is to practice thinking in English during specific situations. For example, when you're cooking, think, "I'm cutting vegetables. Now I'm boiling water." When you're shopping, think, "What should I buy? Do I need milk? Yes, I do." By doing this, you train your brain to process real-life activities in English without relying on translation. Exercise. Choose one activity every day, e.g., cleaning, driving, or eating, and think about it entirely in English. Motivational story. Let's talk about David. When David started learning English, he translated everything from his native language, which slowed him down. He decided to change his approach by thinking in English during his morning commute. At first, it felt difficult, but within a few weeks, he noticed he could think faster, form sentences naturally, and even hold basic conversations without translating. If David can do it, so can you. A quote to inspire you. Language shapes the way we think and determines what we can think about. Benjamin Lee Whorf. By training your brain to think in English, you're not just learning a language, you're opening up a new way of thinking and seeing the world. Challenge for today. Here's how you can put this chapter into practice. Write 5 sentences about your daily routine in English. Spend 5 minutes describing what you're doing right now in English. Look up 3 new words in an English-to-English dictionary and practice using them in sentences. Conclusion. Congratulations on completing Chapter 2, Overcoming Translation Dependency. Breaking free from this habit isn't easy, but with consistent practice, you'll notice big improvements in your fluency. In Chapter 3, we'll focus on building a strong vocabulary, foundation to support your English thinking and speaking. See you in the next chapter. Chapter 3. Building a Vocabulary Foundation. Hi everyone, welcome to Chapter 3. In this chapter, we're focusing on one of the most important elements of learning any language: vocabulary. Your vocabulary is the foundation of your ability to think, speak, and understand English. Without enough words, even the simplest sentences become a challenge. But don't worry. Building your vocabulary doesn't have to be overwhelming. Today, we'll explore why vocabulary is so important, common mistakes learners make, and proven strategies to grow your vocabulary effectively. Let's get started. Why is vocabulary so important? Think of vocabulary as the building blocks of a language. Without words, you can't form sentences, express ideas, or communicate effectively. Here's why a strong vocabulary foundation matters. Improved comprehension. The more words you know, the easier it is to understand conversations, texts, and even media like movies or podcasts. Fluency and confidence. Knowing the right words allows you to speak without hesitation or fear of getting stuck. Creativity in expression. A rich vocabulary lets you express ideas in different ways, making your English sound more natural and interesting. Common vocabulary. Learning mistakes. Before we dive into strategies, let's talk about some common mistakes that can slow down your progress. Memorizing long lists of random words. This often leads to forgetting them quickly because there's no context. Focusing only on complex words. Many learners try to learn advanced words, but neglect common, everyday vocabulary that's more practical. Not reviewing regularly. Without repetition, new words fade from memory. Ignoring how words are used in context. Learning definitions. Alone isn't enough. You need to know how words function in real sentences. The good news? With the right approach, you can avoid these pitfalls and make vocabulary learning enjoyable and effective. How to build a strong vocabulary foundation. Let's break it down into practical, actionable steps. Step 1. Focus on high-frequency words. Not all words are equally important. Start by learning the most commonly used words in English. These words are used in everyday conversations, writing, and media, so they'll give you the most value. Examples of high-frequency words. Nouns. Book, house, time, person, verbs. Go, come, make, do adjectives. Good, bad, small. Big, how to learn them. Search for lists like the Oxford 3000 or Dolch sight words. Practice using these words in sentences daily. Exercise. Write 10 sentences using the most common words you've learned today. Step 2. Learn words in context. Words are easier to remember when you learn them in context instead of isolation. For example, instead of learning the word run by itself, learn it in a sentence. I run every morning to stay healthy. Instead of memorizing delicious, learn it in a phrase, this cake is delicious. How to practice. Read short stories or articles and highlight new words. Look up their meanings and write sentences using them. Tip: watch English videos or listen to podcasts and write down words or phrases you hear often. Step 3. Group words by theme. Organizing vocabulary into categories makes it easier to remember. For example, food, apple, bread, coffee, salad emotions, happy, sad, excited, nervous, travel, airport, luggage, ticket, destination. Exercise. Create a vocabulary notebook and divide it into sections for different themes. Add at least 5 words to each section every week. Step 4. Use flashcards. Flashcards are a classic but powerful tool for vocabulary learning. They help you review and reinforce new words quickly. How to use flashcards. Write the word on one side and the definition or a sentence on the other. Test yourself regularly by looking at the word and trying to recall its meaning or use. Use apps like Anki or Quizlet for digital flashcards. Tip: include pictures or visuals on your flashcards to make them more engaging and memorable. Step 5. Practice. Active usage. Learning new words isn't enough. You need to actively use them to make them part of your long-term memory. How to practice. Write short paragraphs or journal entries using new words. Challenge yourself to use at least 5 new words in a conversation each day. Try storytelling. Describe your day or tell a story using as many new words as possible. Exercise. Write a short story, 5 to 10 sentences, using 10 new words you've learned recently. Step 6. Expand through synonyms and antonyms. Learning synonyms, words with similar meanings, and antonyms, opposites, helps you expand your vocabulary quickly. For example, happy. Synonyms: joyful, cheerful. Antonyms: sad, upset big. Synonyms: she's large, enormous. Antonyms: sheer small. Tiny tip. When you learn a new word, write down at least 2 synonyms and 2 antonyms to deepen your understanding. Step 7. Use technology to your advantage. There are many apps and tools designed to help you learn vocabulary effectively. Vocabulary apps: Duolingo, Memrise, Anki, or Quizlet. Online resources. Use websites like vocabulary.com or BBC Learning English. Language games. Play word games like Scrabble or Wordle to practice in a fun way. Step 8. Review and repeat regularly. Repetition is the key to retaining vocabulary. If you don't review regularly, you'll forget most of what you learn. How to review. Spend 10 minutes a day reviewing previous words. Test yourself weekly by writing sentences or using flashcards. Create a review day each week where you go over all the words you've learned recently. Motivational example. Let me share a quick story about Mark, one of my students. Mark struggled with vocabulary because he focused on memorizing random words without context. When he switched to grouping words by themes and practicing them in sentences, his progress skyrocketed. In just 2 months, he could confidently use over 200 new words in conversations. A quote to inspire you. Without grammar, little can be conveyed. Without vocabulary, nothing can be conveyed. David Wilkins. This quote reminds us that vocabulary is the foundation of communication. The more words you know, the more you can express yourself. Challenge for today. Here's your vocabulary building challenge for today. Choose 10 high-frequency words and write sentences using them. Watch a short video or read an article in English. Write down 5 new words you hear or see. Create flashcards for 5 of those words and review them daily. Conclusion. Congratulations on completing Chapter 3, Building a Vocabulary Foundation. By focusing on high-frequency words, learning in context, and practicing actively, you're setting yourself up for success. Remember, building a strong vocabulary takes time. But with consistent effort, you'll see incredible progress. In Chapter 4, we'll focus on creating simple English sentences and building confidence in your speaking. See you in the next chapter. Chapter 4. Creating Simple English Sentences. Hi everyone, welcome to Chapter 4. In this chapter, we're focusing on creating simple English sentences, one of the most fundamental skills in learning English. A strong grasp of basic sentence construction not only boosts your confidence, but also forms the foundation for more complex communication. Whether you're a beginner or already familiar with English, mastering simple sentences will make your speaking and writing clearer, faster, and more natural. Let's break this down into easy steps with actionable tips, examples, and exercises to help you get started. Why are simple sentences important? Simple sentences are the backbone of any language. Here's why they matter. Easy to understand. They communicate your message clearly without unnecessary complications. Build fluency. When you practice forming simple sentences, it's easier to build up to longer, more complex ones. Boost confidence. Speaking or writing correctly, even if it's simple, gives you the confidence to use English more often. Universally useful. Simple sentences are perfect for everyday conversations, emails, and basic communication. What is a simple sentence? Simple sentence is a sentence that contains one subject and one verb. It expresses a complete thought. Here's the basic structure. Subject plus verb plus object. Optional. Subject, the person or thing doing the action. Verb, the action or state of being. Object, the thing receiving the action. Optional. Examples: I eat, she sleeps, they play football, we are happy. Notice how these sentences are short, clear, and complete. They all follow the simple sentence structure. Common mistakes when creating simple sentences. Before we dive into how to create them, let's address some common mistakes learners make. Missing subjects, saying is raining instead of it is raining. Incorrect word order, saying eat I lunch instead of I eat lunch. Using incomplete thoughts, saying because I am tired without finishing the sentence. Overcomplicating sentences. Trying to use advanced vocabulary or grammar before mastering the basics. Don't worry. These mistakes are easy to fix with practice. How to create simple sentences. Let's break this process into clear, actionable steps. Step 1. Start with subject. Verb. The simplest sentence structure is just a subject and a verb. Start here to build your confidence. Examples: I run. He sings. We study. They laugh. Exercise. Write 10 sentences using only a subject and a verb. For example, I dance. She cooks. Step 2. Add an object. Once you're comfortable with subject plus verb, you can expand by adding an object to the sentence. Structure. Subject plus verb plus object. Examples. I drink water. She reads a book. They play basketball. We watch TVD exercise. Write 10 sentences with a subject, verb, and object. For example, I eat pizza. He drives a car. Step 3. Include time or place. Adding information about time or place makes your sentences more specific. Structure. Subject. Plus verb. Plus object. Plus time, place. Examples. I eat breakfast in the morning. She studies at the library. We play soccer on Sundays. They walk to school every day. Exercise. Write 10 sentences that include time or place. For example, I watch TV at night. She runs in the park. Step 4. Use adjectives and adverbs. Adjectives, describing words, and adverbs, words that describe actions. Make your sentences more interesting. Examples with adjectives. I eat a delicious pizza. She has a red car. They live in a big house. Examples with adverbs. I run quickly. He speaks loudly. She dances gracefully. Exercise. Write 10 sentences using adjectives or adverbs. For example, he drives a fast car. I sing loudly. Step 5. Ask and answer. Questions. Questions are a great way to practice forming simple sentences. Examples of yes/no questions. Do you like coffee? Yes, I like coffee. Are they tired? No, they are not tired. Does she play the piano? Yes, she plays the piano. Examples of WH questions. What do you eat? I eat pizza. Where do they go? They go to the park. When do you study? I study at night. Exercise. Write 5 yes/no questions and 5 WH questions, then answer them in complete sentences. Step 6. Practice with real-life scenarios. To make sentence creation more practical, practice using simple sentences in everyday situations. Examples. At a cafe. I want a coffee. At the store. I need a bag. Talking about your day. I wake up at 7 a.m. Exercise. Write 10 sentences based on what you did today or plan to do tomorrow. For example, I went to the market. I will call my friend. Pro tips for creating simple sentences. Keep it short. Don't overcomplicate your sentences. Short and clear is better. Use familiar words. Start with vocabulary you already know and expand as you learn. Repeat and review. The more you practice, the easier it will become. Practice out loud. Speaking your sentences helps reinforce grammar and pronunciation. Motivational example. Let's take the story of Emily, a beginner English learner. She used to feel overwhelmed by long sentences and complicated grammar. By focusing on creating simple sentences like, I like coffee and she reads books, Emily gained confidence and built a strong foundation. Over time, she was able to combine these sentences into longer, more complex ideas. A quote to inspire you. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Leonardo da Vinci. Even the simplest sentences can convey powerful ideas. Master the basics, and you'll unlock the potential to express yourself clearly and confidently. Challenge for today. Write 10 sentences using subject plus verb. Expand those sentences by adding objects, time, or place. Create 5 questions, yes, no, or WH questions, and answer them in full sentences. Conclusion. Congratulations on completing Chapter 4, Creating Simple English Sentences. Remember, mastering simple sentences is the key to fluency. Once you're comfortable with the basics, you'll find it easier to form more complex sentences and communicate effectively. In Chapter 5, we'll explore how to use English in daily activities to make learning part of your everyday life. See you in the next chapter. Chapter 5. Using English in Daily Activities. Hi everyone, welcome to Chapter 5. In this chapter, we'll explore how to use English in your daily activities. Integrating English into your everyday life is one of the most effective ways to improve your listening, speaking, and thinking skills. It transforms language learning from a chore into something natural and enjoyable. Whether you're at home, at work, or out running errands, there are countless opportunities to practice English. By the end of this chapter, you'll have a clear roadmap to incorporate English into your routine effortlessly. Let's get started. Why use English in daily activities? Using English in daily activities has several benefits. Consistency. Regular exposure helps you learn faster and retain what you've learned. Context-based learning. You remember words and phrases better when you associate them with real-life situations. Practical application. Practicing in real situations builds your confidence and makes learning feel meaningful. Time efficiency. You can practice English without needing extra study time. It blends into your life. Common challenges and how to overcome them. Before diving into strategies, let's address a few common concerns. I don't have time to practice English. Solution. Practice while doing things you already do daily, like cooking or commuting. I'm afraid of making mistakes. Solution. Mistakes are part of learning. Focus on communicating your message, not perfection. I don't know how to practice in daily life. Solution. Follow the practical strategies below to start today. How to use English in daily activities. Here are 8 practical strategies to make English a natural part of your daily life. Start your day with English. The way you start your day sets the tone for the rest of it, so why not begin with English? Ideas to practice. Think in English. When you wake up, mentally plan your day in English. For example, I'll have breakfast, go to work, and call my friend in the evening. Listen to English. Play an English podcast, audiobook, or news segment. While getting ready, write a to-do list. Write down your tasks for the day in English. Example. To-do list. 1. Go grocery shopping. 2. Finish my project. 3. Watch a new English movie. Tip. Choose short, simple content in the morning to ease into the day. Use English while cooking or eating. Cooking and eating provide great opportunities to practice English vocabulary and phrases. Ideas to practice. Read recipes in English. Follow an English language recipe to learn cooking terms like stir, chop, and bake. Talk about food. While preparing food, describe what you're doing. For example, I'm cutting vegetables. I'm boiling water. Watch cooking videos. Watch English cooking shows or tutorials to learn new words and phrases. Example. Sentence. I'm making pasta for lunch with tomatoes and cheese. 3. Practice English during your commute. Whether you're driving, taking public transport, or walking, your commute is a golden opportunity to immerse yourself in English. Ideas to practice. Listen to English content. Play podcasts, audiobooks, or music in English. Narrate what you see. Describe the environment around you. For example, I see a bus. There's a man walking his dog. Practice conversation in your head. Imagine you're speaking to someone and think about what you'd say. Example. I'm walking to the train station. The weather is sunny and the streets are busy. Switch your devices to English. One of the simplest ways to immerse yourself in English is by changing the language settings on your phone, computer, or apps. Benefits. You'll encounter English. Every time you use your device, it's an effortless way to learn new words and phrases related to technology. Examples. Your phone might say, "Low battery. Please charge your device." Apps like weather forecasts will show sunny, 25 degrees. Tip. Start with one device, like your phone, to get comfortable before switching others. 5. Shop and run errands in English. Turn shopping and errands into an English practice opportunity. Ideas to practice. Make shopping lists in English. Write down what you need to buy. For example, milk, bread, eggs, apples. Talk to yourself. While shopping, say things like, I need to find rice. Where is the bread aisle? Use English while comparing prices. Think in English while deciding between products. Example: this cereal costs $3.50, but that one is on sale for $2.99. 6. Use English in conversations. If you have the chance to speak with others in English, even for a few minutes, take it. Ideas to practice. Speak with coworkers or friends. If they're comfortable, switch your conversation to English for a while. Join language exchange platforms. Apps like Tandem or HelloTalk let you practice with native speakers. Practice with family. Teach your family members simple English phrases and practice together. Example: conversation. Hi, how are you? What are your plans for the weekend? 7. Use English while relaxing. Relaxation time is perfect for combining fun and learning. Ideas to practice. Watch movies or TV shows in English. Start with subtitles, then try without them. Read in English. Choose books, magazines, or articles that interest you. Play games in English. Many apps and video games can help you learn English while having fun. Example: I'm reading an article about travel tips. It says, always pack light for short trips. End your day with English. Finish your day by reviewing what you've learned and preparing for tomorrow. Ideas to practice. Reflect in English. Write 3 sentences about what you did that day. For example, I went to the gym. I had lunch with my friend. I watched an English movie. Set goals for tomorrow. Plan your next day in English. Listen to English before bed. Play relaxing audiobooks or podcasts to wind down. Example: reflection. Today was a good day. I learned 5 new words and practiced speaking in English with a friend. Motivational example. Let's talk about Emma, who was struggling to find time for English practice. Instead of setting aside hours, she started integrating English into her daily activities. She changed her phone's language to English, wrote her shopping lists in English, and described her daily routine out loud. Within 3 months, Emma noticed significant improvement in her fluency, all without spending extra time studying. A quote to inspire you. Practice isn't the thing you do once you're good. It's the thing you do that makes you good. Malcolm Gladwell. By practicing English daily through small actions, you'll build fluency naturally and effectively. Challenge for today. Here's your daily English practice challenge. Write your to-do list in English. Listen to a short podcast or video in English while cooking or commuting. At the end of the day, write 3 sentences in English about what you did. Conclusion. Congratulations on completing Chapter 5, Using English in Daily Activities. By incorporating English into your routine, you're turning learning into a natural and enjoyable part of your life. Remember, every small effort adds up to big progress. In Chapter 6, we'll focus on how to speak English confidently, even if you're just starting out. See you in the next chapter. Chapter 6, Speaking with Confidence Through Practice. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Chapter 6. One of the biggest challenges for English learners is speaking with confidence. It's natural to feel nervous or self-conscious, especially if you're afraid of making mistakes. But here's the truth. Confidence comes with practice, not perfection. In this chapter, we'll focus on practical strategies to help you build confidence, improve your speaking skills, and overcome the fear of speaking English. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your skills, these tips will give you the tools you need to speak English with confidence. Let's get started. Why is confidence important for speaking English? Confidence is the foundation of effective communication. When you feel confident, you speak more fluently. You're less likely to hesitate or second-guess yourself. Focus on communication. Instead of worrying about mistakes, you concentrate on getting your message across. Enjoy speaking. Confidence makes the experience more enjoyable, which motivates you to practice more. Common barriers to confidence and how to overcome them. Before we dive into strategies, let's address some common barriers. Fear of mistakes. Many learners are afraid of being judged for making errors. Solution. Remember, mistakes are part of the learning process. Native speakers make mistakes too. Limited vocabulary. Not knowing the right words can make you feel stuck. Solution. Focus on simple words and phrases. You don't need advanced vocabulary to communicate effectively. Speaking too fast, rushing, can lead to mistakes and make you feel flustered. Solution. Speak slowly and clearly. It's better to be understood than to speak quickly. Practical steps to speak with confidence. Let's explore 8 actionable strategies to build your speaking confidence. Start with self-talk. Talking to yourself is a powerful way to practice. Speaking without pressure. You don't need a partner. Just start speaking out loud. How to practice. Narrate your actions. I'm making coffee. I'm checking my emails. Reflect on your day. Today, I went to the park. It was sunny, and I had a great time. Imagine conversations. Pretend you're talking to a friend. For example, "Hi, how are you? I'm doing well. Thank you." Tip: use a mirror to practice self-talk. Seeing yourself speak can help you improve your facial expressions and body language. Focus on pronunciation, not perfection. Fluency isn't about speaking perfectly. It's about being understood. Focus on clear pronunciation rather than trying to sound like a native speaker. How to improve pronunciation. Listen and repeat. Use podcasts, YouTube videos, or audiobooks to hear how native speakers pronounce words. Practice tricky sounds. 4. Example: practice the difference between ship and sheep. Record yourself. Listen to your recordings and identify areas for improvement. Exercise. Pick 5 sentences and practice saying them out loud slowly. Focus on clarity and pronunciation. Practice shadowing. Shadowing is a technique where you listen to a native speaker and immediately repeat what they say, mimicking their tone, rhythm, and pronunciation. How to practice shadowing. Choose a short audio or video clip, 30 seconds to 1 minute. Play the clip and try to repeat each sentence as soon as you hear it. Focus on matching the speaker's speed and intonation. Tip: start with simple content like children's stories or beginner podcasts, then progress to more advanced materials. 4. Speak slowly and clearly. It's better to speak slowly and be understood than to rush and make mistakes. Take your time to form your thoughts and deliver them clearly. How to practice. Pause between sentences. Give yourself time to think. Emphasize. Keywords. For example, I really like this book. It's very interesting. Tip: if you feel nervous, take a deep breath before speaking to calm yourself down. Use simple sentences. Don't try to impress others with complicated grammar or long sentences. Start with simple structures to express your ideas. Examples of simple sentences. I like reading books. My favorite food is pizza. Today I went to the park. Exercise. Write 5 simple sentences about your day and practice saying them out loud. Join English-speaking groups. Practicing with others is one of the best ways to build confidence. Look for opportunities to speak English in a supportive environment. Where to practice. Language exchange apps, Tandem, HelloTalk, or Speaky.online communities. Join Facebook groups or Reddit communities for English learners. Local language meetups. If possible, join language clubs or conversation groups in your area. Tip: don't worry about making mistakes. Most people in these groups are learners just like you. 7. Celebrate small wins. Building confidence takes time, so celebrate your progress no matter how small. Examples of small wins: ordering food in English for the first time, completing a short conversation with a native speaker, learning and using 5 new words in a sentence. Tip: keep a journal to track your progress and reflect on what you've achieved. Build consistency with daily practice. The more you practice speaking, the more confident you'll become. Aim to practice a little every day, even if it's just for 5-10 minutes. Ideas for daily practice. Start your day with self-talk. Today, I will go to work. After work, I will exercise. Practice with a friend. Call a friend or family member and speak in English. End your day with reflection. Today, I learned 3 new words. I used them in sentences. Motivational example: meet Alex. When Alex started learning English, he was terrified of speaking. He would freeze during conversations and avoid speaking altogether. But instead of giving up, he practiced self-talk every day, starting with simple sentences like, "I'm drinking tea." He also joined an online language group to practice with others. Within 6 months, Alex gained enough confidence to hold full conversations. He realized that confidence wasn't about being perfect. It was about being brave enough to try. A quote to inspire you. Confidence comes not from always being right, but from not fearing to be wrong. Peter T. McIntyre. Remember, the goal is to communicate, not to be perfect. Every time you speak, you're improving and building confidence. Challenge for today. Here's your speaking confidence challenge. Practice self-talk for 5 minutes. Narrate what you're doing right now. Choose a short audio clip, 30 seconds, and shadow it 3 times. Join a language exchange app and introduce yourself to 1 new person. Conclusion. Congratulations on completing. Chapter 6. Speaking with Confidence. Through practice. Confidence doesn't come overnight, but with consistent practice, you'll see steady improvement. Remember, the key is to take small steps every day. In Chapter 7, we'll focus on how listening can improve your ability to think and speak in English. See you in the next chapter. Chapter 7. The Role of Listening in Thinking in English. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Chapter 7. Today, we're focusing on the powerful connection between listening and thinking in English. Listening is often overlooked, but it's one of the most important skills when learning a language. When you listen actively, you're not only improving your understanding, but also training your brain to think in English. In this chapter, we'll explore why listening is essential, how it helps you think in English, and provide detailed strategies to practice listening effectively. Let's dive in. Why is listening important for thinking in English? Listening is the foundation for language acquisition. Here's why it plays such a vital role. Builds vocabulary. Listening exposes you to new words, phrases, and expressions in context, making it easier to remember and use them later. Example. When you hear, "Can I have a glass of water?" repeatedly, you naturally learn how to make similar requests. Improves pronunciation and intonation. By listening to native speakers, you pick up on how words are pronounced and where the natural stress falls in sentences. Strengthens grammar. Understanding. Listening. Helps you hear correct sentence structures and action, reinforcing grammar rules without memorizing them. Trains your brain to think in English. When you listen regularly, your brain starts processing English faster, reducing the need for translation. Boosts confidence. The more you understand spoken English, the more confident you'll feel in responding and thinking in the language. Common listening challenges and how to overcome them. Before diving into strategies, let's address common challenges. I don't understand native speakers because they talk too fast. Solution. Start with slower audio, like beginner podcasts or videos, and gradually increase the difficulty. I can't catch every word. Solution. Focus on understanding the overall meaning, not every single word. Context is key. Listening feels overwhelming. Solution. Break your practice into smaller sessions like 5 to 10 minutes and focus on one goal at a time. How to use listening to think in English. Let's explore 8 practical strategies to make listening a tool for thinking directly in English. Start with simple, slow audio. When you're just starting out, choose materials designed for English learners, as they are usually slower and easier to understand. Examples. Beginner podcasts like ESL Pod or The English We Speak by BBC. Learning English. YouTube channels for learners like VOA Learning English. How to practice. Listen to a short clip, 1-2 minutes, several times. Focus on understanding the general idea first, then pay attention to specific words or phrases. Tip: use subtitles at first, then try listening without them. Listen to content you enjoy. Listening is more effective when you're interested in the topic. Choose content that excites you, such as music. Listen to your favorite English songs and look up the lyrics, movies or TV shows. Start with sitcoms like Friends or The Office. Podcasts. Explore topics like travel, cooking, or technology. How to practice. Pause the audio after every sentence and repeat what you heard. This helps with comprehension and pronunciation. Tip: don't force yourself to listen to something boring. It will feel like a chore instead of a fun activity. Practice. Active listening. Active listening means fully focusing on what you're hearing instead of letting it play in the background. Steps to practice. Choose a short clip, 30 seconds to 1 minute. Listen once to understand the main idea. Listen again and write down key words or phrases. Listen a third time and try to repeat what you heard. Example: if you're listening to a podcast about travel, note phrases like book a flight, pack luggage, or check in at the airport. 4. Use dictation practice. Dictation is an excellent way to combine listening and writing. How to practice. Choose a short audio clip, 30 seconds. Play the clip and try to write down what you hear. Check your writing against the transcript, if available. Example: listen to a news segment and write sentences like, "The weather today is sunny with a high of 25 degrees. Tip: start with simple clips and increase the difficulty over time. Focus on chunking. Chunking means breaking sentences into smaller phrases, which makes listening and understanding easier. How to practice. Listen to a sentence like, "I'm going to the store to buy some groceries." Break it into chunks. I'm going to the store to buy some groceries. Repeat each chunk and then say the full sentence. Tip: chunking helps you hear natural pauses in speech and improves your fluency when speaking. Listen without. Translating. One of the biggest mistakes learners make is translating everything into their native language. Instead, focus on understanding the meaning directly in English. How to practice. Listen to a simple sentence and visualize what it means. Example: for the cat is sleeping on the sofa. Imagine a cat sleeping on a sofa. Avoid stopping to translate words unless absolutely necessary. Tip: start with easy sentences to train your brain to think in English. Repeat and mimic. Repeating and mimicking what you hear helps improve your pronunciation, intonation, and listening comprehension. How to practice. Choose a short sentence or phrase. Listen to it several times and repeat it aloud, trying to match the speaker's tone and speed. Record yourself and compare it to the original audio. Example: mimic phrases like, "How's it going?" or "What are you up to?" from a casual conversation. Make listening a daily habit. Consistency is key to improving your listening skills. Even just 10-15 minutes a day can make a big difference over time. How to create a habit. Listen during your commute. Play podcasts or audiobooks while driving or on public transport. Listen while doing chores. Play English content while cooking, cleaning, or exercising. End your day with English. Watch a short video or listen to relaxing English music before bed. Tip: choose a time that fits into your routine so it becomes a habit. Motivational example. Let's talk about Tom. Tom struggled with listening because he tried to understand every word and translated everything in his head. After switching to chunking and active listening, he started focusing on the overall meaning instead of individual words. By listening to English podcasts daily for just 15 minutes, Tom's comprehension and ability to think in English improved dramatically in 3 months. A quote to inspire you. To learn a language is to have one more window from which to look at the world. Chinese proverb. By listening to English, you're opening a window to a new way of thinking, expressing yourself, and understanding others. Challenge for today. Choose a 1-minute audio clip and listen to it 3 times. Write down the key phrases you hear. Shadow. 1 sentence from the clip, repeating it aloud until you match the speaker's tone. Spend 5 minutes listening to an English podcast or song without translating. Conclusion. Congratulations on completing. Chapter 7. The role of listening and thinking. In English, listening isn't just a skill. It's a tool that trains your brain to think directly in English. by practicing daily and using the strategies we've covered, you'll see noticeable improvements in both your comprehension and speaking abilities. In Chapter 8, we'll dive into how to build mental conversations in English to further strengthen your fluency. See you in the next chapter. Chapter 8: Building Mental Conversations in English. Introduction. Hi everyone. Welcome to Chapter 8. Have you ever wished you could think in English as naturally as you do in your native language? Building mental conversations is one of the most powerful ways to achieve this goal. It allows you to practice English anytime, anywhere. No partner needed. By imagining conversations in your head, you'll strengthen your ability to think in English, improve your fluency, and prepare for real-life situations. In this chapter, we'll explore why mental conversations are so effective, how to create them, and practical techniques to make them a part of your daily routine. Let's get started. Why are mental conversations important? Mental conversations are like a rehearsal for real-life communication. Here's why they're essential. Practice anytime. You can practice English even if you don't have someone to talk to. Reduce fear. Mentally rehearsing conversations builds confidence, so you feel more prepared when speaking. Think in English. Mental conversations force your brain to process English without translating. Expand vocabulary. You'll naturally think of and use new words in context. For example, before going to a cafe, you can imagine ordering, "Hi, I'd like a cup of coffee, please." "Sure. Would you like milk or sugar?" "Yes, both, please." This simple mental exercise prepares you for the real interaction and helps you feel more confident. Common challenges and how to overcome them. Here are some challenges you might face when starting mental conversations and how to overcome them. I don't know what to say. Solution. Start with familiar topics or daily situations like introducing yourself, ordering food, or describing your day. I don't have enough vocabulary. Solution. Use simple words and phrases. If you can't think of a word, describe it with the words you do know. For example, instead of fridge, say the thing that keeps food cold. I keep translating in my head. Solution. Focus on thinking in English only. Visualize the situation to help your brain connect directly to the language. How to build mental conversations in English. Here are 7 steps to start practicing mental conversations effectively. Start with common situations. Think about the situations you encounter daily and create conversations around them. Examples of situations: ordering food at a restaurant, asking for directions, talking about the weather, meeting someone new. How to practice. Choose a situation. For example, ordering food at a restaurant. Imagine the dialogue. You. Hi, I'd like a burger and fries, please. Waiter. Sure. Would you like anything to drink? You. Yes, a soda, please. Tip. Keep the conversation simple at first and add more details as you improve. Narrate your day in English. As you go about your day, imagine narrating your actions and thoughts in English. Examples. When getting ready in the morning, I'm brushing my teeth. Now I'm putting on my shoes. When commuting, the bus is late today. I think I'll listen to music while I wait. Exercise. Spend 5 minutes each morning narrating your routine in English. Imagine conversations with a partner. Pretend you're speaking with someone, a friend, a coworker, or even a celebrity. How to practice. Choose a topic, like weekend plans. Imagine. Both sides of the conversation. You. What are you doing this weekend? Friend. I'm going to the park. How about you? You. I'm planning to watch a movie. Tip. Practice both asking and answering questions to cover different perspectives. 4. Use visual prompts. Look at objects around you and create a conversation based on them. Examples. If you see a book, have you read this book? Yes, I read it last year. It's very interesting. If you see a fruit stand, how much are the apples? They're $2 per kilo. Tip. Visual prompts make it easier to think in English because they give you something tangible to focus on. Practice what if scenarios. Create hypothetical situations and think about how you'd respond. Examples of scenarios. What if someone asks for directions? Excuse me, where's the nearest bus stop? It's just around the corner. What if you're at a job interview? Why do you want this job? I'm passionate about working in this industry and have the skills to succeed. Exercise. Write down 3 what-if scenarios and practice answering them. Expand your conversations with details. Once you're comfortable with short dialogues, add more details to make them realistic. Example of a basic conversation. Hi, how are you? I'm good. How about you? Expanded version. Hi, how are you? I'm good, thanks. I just got back from the gym. How about you? I'm great. I'm planning to meet some friends later. Tip: adding details makes your mental conversations more engaging and closer to real-life interactions. Practice real-life scenarios beforehand. If you know you'll need to speak English in a specific situation, rehearse it mentally first. Examples: if you're going to a cafe, practice ordering. Hi, I'd like a latte, please. Sure. Would you like it hot or iced? If you're giving a presentation, today I'm going to talk about the benefits of exercise. Tip: rehearsing boosts your confidence and reduces nervousness when the real moment comes. Additional tips for mental conversations. Use a timer. Set a timer for 5 to 10 minutes each day to focus on mental conversations. Record yourself. Speak your imagined conversations out loud and record them. Listening to the playback helps you identify areas to improve. Keep it fun. Imagine conversations with your favorite characters from movies or TV shows to make practice enjoyable. Motivational example. Let's talk about Mia. Mia wanted to improve her English but didn't have a language partner. She started practicing mental conversations during her commute, imagining dialogues about shopping, traveling, and meeting friends. Over time, she noticed her brain started thinking in English naturally, and she felt more confident during real conversations. Mental practice turned her daily commute into a learning opportunity, and now Mia speaks fluently with ease. A quote to inspire you. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice reduces the imperfection. Toba Beta. By practicing mental conversations daily, you're taking one step closer to fluency. Challenge for today. Imagine a conversation about your plans for the weekend. Write it down and practice saying it out loud. Spend 5 minutes narrating your actions in English as you go about your day. Create a what-if scenario, e.g., asking for help, and think about how you'd respond. Conclusion. Congratulations on completing Chapter 8, Building Mental Conversations in English. Mental practice is a powerful tool that lets you think, prepare, and improve your fluency anytime, anywhere. Remember, consistency is key. Just a few minutes a day can make a huge difference. In Chapter 9, we'll explore how to overcome the fear of making mistakes and speak English more confidently. See you in the next chapter. Chapter 9. Breaking the Fear of Mistakes. Hi everyone, welcome to Chapter 9. One of the biggest obstacles English learners face is the fear of making mistakes. This fear can stop you from speaking, limit your confidence, and slow down your progress. But here's the truth. Mistakes are a natural and essential part of learning. In fact, every mistake you make brings you closer to fluency. In this chapter, we'll explore why we fear making mistakes, how to overcome this fear, and actionable strategies to help you speak English with confidence. Let's get started. Why are we afraid of making mistakes? Fear of making mistakes is completely normal. Here are some common reasons why it happens. Fear of judgment. Many learners worry that others will laugh at them or judge them for speaking incorrectly. Perfectionism. You might feel pressured to speak perfectly without any errors. Lack of confidence. Not feeling confident in your skills can make you hesitant to try. Overthinking. Worrying too much about grammar, pronunciation, or vocabulary can make speaking feel stressful. The good news is that these fears can be overcome with the right mindset and practice. Why making mistakes is important. Mistakes are not failures. They're stepping stones to improvement. Here's why they're essential. Mistakes. Highlight areas for growth. When you make a mistake, it shows you what you need to work on. For example, if you misuse a word, you'll learn the correct usage. Mistakes build resilience. The more mistakes you make, the less afraid you'll become. Each mistake teaches you to keep going. Mistakes are a sign of progress. If you're making mistakes, it means you're actively practicing and pushing your limits. Even native speakers make mistakes. No, one speaks perfectly all the time. Native speakers also forget words, mispronounce things, or use incorrect grammar occasionally. How to break the fear of mistakes. Let's dive into 8 strategies to help you overcome your fear and embrace mistakes as part of your learning journey. Shift your mindset about mistakes. The first step is to change how you think about mistakes. Instead of seeing them as failures, view them as opportunities to learn. How to practice this mindset. Remind yourself, mistakes help me improve. Celebrate small wins, even if they're imperfect. For example, I spoke to someone in English today, and they understood me. Tip: write down one thing you learned from a mistake each day. This will help you see mistakes as valuable. Focus on communication, not perfection. The goal of speaking English is to communicate, not to be perfect. Even if your grammar isn't 100% correct, most people will understand your message. Example: Instead of worrying about saying, I have been studying English for 2 years, it's okay to say, I study English 2 years. The message is still clear. Exercise. Practice speaking without stopping to correct yourself. Focus on expressing your thoughts, not on perfect grammar. Start small and build confidence. If speaking English feels intimidating, start with simple conversations in low-pressure situations. How to practice. Talk to yourself. Narrate your actions. Or describe your surroundings. Practice with friends or family members who won't judge you. Join beginner-friendly language exchange groups. Tip: set small goals, like introducing yourself or ordering food in English. Celebrate each success to build confidence. 4. Learn common mistakes and how to fix them. Many learners make similar mistakes, such as confusing verb tenses or misusing prepositions. By learning these common errors, you can avoid them in the future. Examples of common mistakes: saying, I am agree, instead of I agree. Saying he don't like, instead of he doesn't like. Saying how does it look like, instead of what does it look like. Exercise. Make a list of mistakes you've made before and write the correct versions next to them. Surround yourself with supportive people. Speaking English can feel scary if you're worried about being judged. Practice with people who encourage you and make you feel comfortable. Where to find supportive partners? Join online language exchange platforms like Tandem or HelloTalk. Attend English conversation meetups or join beginner-friendly groups. Practice with friends, co-workers, or classmates who are also learning English. Tip: remember, most people are focused on what you're saying, not how perfectly you say it. Record yourself speaking. Recording yourself is a great way to identify areas for improvement without the pressure of speaking live. How to practice. Choose a topic and speak about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Listen to the recording and take notes on what you can improve. Re-record yourself, focusing on those areas. Tip: don't criticize yourself too harshly. Focus on progress, not perfection. Practice real-life scenarios. Rehearsing common situations can help you feel more prepared and reduce fear. Examples of scenarios to practice. Introducing yourself. Hi, my name is your name. I'm from your country. Asking for help. Excuse me, can you tell me where the nearest bus stop is? Ordering food. I'd like a chicken sandwich and a coffee, please. Exercise. Write down 3 real-life scenarios you might face and practice the dialogues out loud. Celebrate your progress. It's easy to focus on your mistakes and forget how far you've come. Take time to celebrate your achievements, no matter how small they seem. How to celebrate. Keep a journal of your progress. Write down new words you've learned, conversations you've had, or challenges you've overcome. Reward yourself for milestones. For example, treat yourself to something you enjoy after speaking English for 10 minutes. Tip: look back at old recordings or notes to see how much you've improved. Motivational example. Let's talk about David. David was terrified of speaking English because he thought people would laugh at his mistakes. Instead of avoiding conversations, he decided to practice with supportive friends and focused on communicating his ideas rather than being perfect. Over time, his fear faded, and he became more confident. Now, David speaks English daily and sees mistakes as stepping stones to fluency. A quote to inspire you. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill. Every mistake you make is a step forward in your journey to success. Challenge for today. Write down one mistake you've made recently and how you'll correct it. Practice a simple conversation out loud without worrying about mistakes. Focus on communicating your message. Record yourself speaking for 2 minutes about your favorite topic and listen to the playback. Conclusion. Congratulations on completing Chapter 9, Breaking the Fear of Mistakes. Remember, mistakes are not something to fear. They're your greatest teachers. By embracing your mistakes and practicing regularly, you'll gain the confidence to speak English fluently and naturally. In Chapter 10, we'll focus on building a sustainable daily routine for learning and practicing English. See you in the final chapter. Chapter 10. Creating a Sustainable English Routine. High sustainable daily routine for learning and practicing English. You've learned a lot so far, from thinking in English to speaking with confidence. But the key to long-term success is consistency. By establishing a routine that fits your lifestyle, you'll continue improving your English skills every day without feeling overwhelmed. In this chapter, we'll explore why routines matter, how to design one that works for you, and strategies to stay motivated. Let's get started. Why is a daily English routine important? Learning English is like exercising a muscle. It requires regular practice to see progress. Here's why a daily routine is essential. Builds consistency. practicing every day even. For a few minutes, helps you form a habit that keeps you on track, prevents overwhelm. Small, consistent steps are less intimidating than long, irregular study sessions. Encourages long-term growth. A routine helps you improve steadily over time, turning English into a natural part of your life. Boosts confidence. Regular practice reduces hesitation and builds confidence in your abilities. Common challenges and how to overcome them. I don't have time. Solution: incorporate English into activities you already do, like commuting, cooking, or relaxing. I lose motivation. Solution: set small, achievable goals and reward yourself when you reach them. I don't know what to practice. Solution: use a variety of activities like listening, speaking, reading, and writing to keep things interesting. How to create a sustainable English routine. Here's a step-by-step guide to designing a routine that works for you. Step 1. Assess your schedule. Take a look at your daily life and identify when you can practice English. Questions to ask yourself: do you have free time in the morning, during lunch, or before bed? Can you multitask by practicing English while commuting or exercising? Tip: start small. Even 10-15 minutes a day can make a big difference. Example: morning, 10 minutes of vocabulary practice. Afternoon, listen to a podcast while commuting. Evening, write a short journal entry in English. Step 2. Set clear goals. Having clear goals keeps you focused and motivated. How to set goals. Use the SMART method. Goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Examples: learn 5 new words every day. Speak in English for 10 minutes each day. Finish 1 English book in a month. Tip: break larger goals into smaller, manageable steps. Step 3. Balance the 4 core skills. A well-rounded routine includes listening, speaking, reading, and writing. How to practice each skill. Listening. Listen to podcasts, watch movies, or play. English audiobooks. Example: listen to a 5-minute podcast during breakfast. Speaking. Practice self-talk, join language exchanges, or shadow native speakers. Example: record yourself talking about your day. Reading. Read articles, short stories, or even social media posts in English. Example: read 1 news article every morning. Writing. Write journal entries, emails, or even comments on English forums. Example: write 3 sentences about what I learned today. Step 4. Use technology to your advantage. Apps and online resources make it easier to practice English anytime, anywhere. Recommended tools: vocabulary, Duolingo, Memrise, Quizlet. Listening: Spotify, podcasts, VOA Learning English, YouTube channels. Speaking: HelloTalk, Tandem, or italki for conversation practice. Reading and writing: Grammarly, BBC Learning. English, online newspapers. Tip: set reminders on your phone to stay consistent with your practice. Step 5. Incorporate English into your daily life. Turn everyday activities into opportunities to practice English. Examples: change your phone's language to English. Write grocery lists or to-do lists in English. Watch English TV shows or movies during your downtime. Talk to yourself in English while doing chores. Tip: immersion doesn't mean you need to move to an English-speaking country. You can create an English-rich environment wherever you are. Step 6. Track your progress. Tracking your progress keeps you motivated and helps you see how far you've come. How to track. Keep a journal of new words, phrases, or skills you've learned. Use apps with progress tracking features like Duolingo or Quizlet. Record yourself speaking weekly to compare your improvement over time. Tip: celebrate milestones no matter how small. For example, I learned 50 new words this month. Step 7. Stay motivated. Motivation is key to sticking with your routine. How to stay motivated. Reward yourself. Treat yourself when you reach a goal, like watching your favorite movie or enjoying a special snack. Find a study buddy. Practicing with. A friend makes learning more fun and keeps you accountable. Remind yourself of your why. Think about your reason for learning English, whether it's for work, travel, or personal growth. Tip: change up your routine occasionally to keep it exciting. For example, try a new podcast or explore a different topic. Example of a daily English routine. Here's a sample routine for someone with a busy schedule. Morning, 10 minutes. Learn 5 new words using a vocabulary app. Write sentences using those words. Afternoon, 15 minutes. Listen to a podcast during your commute. Practice shadowing 3 to 5 sentences from the podcast. Evening, 20 minutes. Read a short article or watch a YouTube video in English. Write 3 sentences about what you learned. Total time, 45 minutes, divided throughout the day. Motivational example. Let's talk about Lisa. Lisa is a busy professional who wanted to improve her English, but felt she didn't have time. She created a daily routine that fit into her schedule, learning vocabulary during breakfast, listening to podcasts while driving, and writing journal entries before bed. By practicing just 30 minutes a day, Lisa noticed significant improvement in her fluency and confidence after 3 months. She turned small, consistent efforts into big progress. And so can you. A quote to inspire you. Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. Robert Collier. Your daily routine may seem simple, but over time, it will lead to remarkable progress. Challenge for today. Create a daily English routine that works for your schedule. Start with just 10-15 minutes. Choose one skill: listening, speaking, reading, or writing to focus on each day. Track your progress for a week and reflect on what you've learned. Conclusion. Congratulations on completing Chapter 10, creating a sustainable English routine, and the entire series. By building a routine that works for you and sticking to it, you're setting yourself up for long-term success in learning English. Remember, consistency is key. Small steps every day lead to big improvements over time. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and most importantly, enjoy the process of learning English. You've got this. Great work today. Every moment you spend practicing brings you closer to mastering your English listening and speaking skills. Remember, progress comes with patience and consistency. If this story inspired you or helped you in your learning journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Easy English Spark channel for more lessons and stories. Keep listening, keep speaking, and keep believing in your growth. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and keep shining.